Hi there, my name's John Albiston, and I'm here today to talk to you about 4 different ways you can optimize your online giving. I'm trusting that by now you already have some form of online giving, which is a good first step. But if your giving process is hidden, if it's difficult, if it's confusing, less people are going to give. However, if it's easy and obvious, more people are going to give. And if you follow up that giving with gratitude, more people will give again. Well, the first thing we want to do is make giving obvious. And so what we're doing here is talking about having an obvious Donate Now buttons. The harder those buttons are to find, the fewer are the people are going to find them. So first thing is we want them to be visible on the front page of your website. We don't want people to have to dig down several layers in on the website. On the front page, you should have that Donate Now button. As well, it shouldn't be in some kind of a weird spot way down where they have to scroll to find it, or they have to look at fine print. No, it shouldn't be at a weird spot. It should be very, very easy and obvious to find. We also want to put one of these on our Facebook live stream whenever we have them. Right underneath the Facebook live stream, you can have a Donate Now button. Facebook allows that and has a whole system where you can do that. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, the reason why you want to put those on your live stream is that you have 2 different types of givers. You have what I'd call intentional givers. These are people who give regularly, they give consistently, and they will Google your church website, they will look for an opportunity to donate now, and the most committed, if they don't find one, they will drive by the building and write you a check. But you also have large numbers of spontaneous givers. Now, spontaneous givers, they're on your side. They believe in the mission, but they're not necessarily thinking about it intentionally. So they will give if and when you give them an opportunity to give. If you don't give them an opportunity to give, they're not thinking about it. Those are the people that when they watch your live stream, if they see a Donate Now button, they will donate now. But if there's no button there, they're not going to navigate away, try to find your church webpage and give another way. They will give spontaneously in the moment. So if we give them that opportunity, they will take that. Now, Facebook giving isn't quite as polished as some of the other systems, and it can take up to 30 days to get the donation. However, some money is better than no money, and even money that's 30 days late is a lot better than no money at all. And for those spontaneous givers, we want to give them that option. We also want to make sure that our website, when people do use our website, is mobile friendly. The vast majority of web traffic today is conducted on people's phones, not on their computers. Now, is your church mobile friendly? Quickest way to find out is get out your phone and go to your church website. Is it easy and obvious to be able to read it? Can you find that Donate Now button? That's how you'll find out. Number 2, we want to make giving compelling. For so long, this is something that we have taken for granted as a church. For literally centuries, we've passed out plates, people put money in those plates, and then we run. We don't have to think about it. It's a system that's worked without any pause or any reflection for centuries. Well, that no longer applies to online giving. People are not predisposed or preconditioned to automatically click Donate Now buttons. You're going to have to give them a reason to do this. So what we need to do is explain to people why they should give. So on a website, this is just a simple short little paragraph giving them the reason why. And if it's on a live stream, quite frankly, it's just 20 or 30 seconds of giving them an explanation. Now, what should that explanation look like? Well, we need to understand why people give in the first place. And the reason why they're giving in the first place is because they want to accomplish something. They want something to happen. This is money that they've worked hard for, and they're sacrificing in order to do something. So when we can explain that, hey, when you give, this is what happens. These are the lives that get changed. This is the impact it has on the community. People are far more likely to give when they know that giving is going to do something. We want to use multiple opportunities to teach on giving. Now, this applies particularly to live stream. When it comes to traditional physical space church, we've got one shot a week in order to get someone to give, and that's Sunday morning when we pass that plate. But when we're talking about online options, people can give 7 days a week. We just need to remember that and have some way of tapping into that. So this isn't just your Sunday morning live stream that should have a Donate Now button, but if you're doing a daily devotional or any other kind of thing throughout the week, give them that option. And give them that short little 20 or 30-second explanation on how they can join you in the mission of the church. We also want to give multiple opportunities for people to immediately act. So when it comes to giving, if we're asking people to give, there better be a Donate Now button that they can press so they can act. If we're asking people to volunteer, we want some kind of way where they can click a button where they will send their information into your volunteer coordinator. Whenever we give a call to action, we want people to be able to act right away. When we give a call to action and we're hoping people can wait an hour or whatever and still remember, we're just fooling ourselves. Number 3, we want to make giving easy. Now, what I'm talking about is the giving process. What happens after you push the Donate Now button? So what I'm talking about is simplify, simplify, simplify. We want to make this easy and obvious. So for starters, we want to simplify that donation form. Some churches ask a whole bunch of questions. Their birthdays, their children's birthdays, all these different things to try to get information from them from that donation form. The more questions we ask, the more we're going to have an attrition rate where people get tired of the process and will not give at all. So we want to simplify. Just ask the necessary information so we can give them a receipt and the necessary information where we can process the payment. We want to avoid third-party websites and forms. Some of the lower quality and lower tier giving options, when you click that Donate Now button, you actually launch to a completely different website. Completely website design, the language changes, the colors change, and very often on those websites, they're making appeals for other charities or even for the website itself. This is confusing, and when you do that, studies have shown that the attrition rate where people abandon the giving process increases by 500% when they have to go to a third-party website. Use a higher quality giving provider where you can stay on your website and process things with your language and your website design. We want to also give people different options on how to give. Electronic funds transfer, text to give. We want to give them opportunities to give with their credit card. The more options we give to people, the easier it is for them get them to support our church. Number 4, we want to make giving personal and responsive. So we're talking about building a giving system here, but that giving system needs to also include a response system. If somebody volunteers for us, we give them thanks and gratitude, and so we should. Well, it's no different when someone gives. We need to look at this through spiritual eyes and understand that whenever somebody gives, they're taking an important step in following Jesus. This is something that's important, and it is something godly, and it's something we should be encouraging and supporting when they do that. So first of all, whenever anybody gives, we should respond with gratitude. And we want to make that process as personal as possible. When we have got a good response system, a good system makes the process feel warm and human. A bad system makes the process feel cold and robotic, and we want to avoid that. When it comes to our regular givers, we want a system in place where we give them some thanks probably about once a month. We never want to take these people for granted. Now, we don't have to email them or send them a message every single time they give, but about once a month, encourage them. Let them know some kind of personal story of a life that was changed last month that their giving made possible. When it comes to your first-time givers, wow, this is a big first step, and we want to respond as personally as possible, as soon as possible. Preferably within 24 hours of receiving that gift, we want to give them a personal message or a personal phone call, or better yet, even a handwritten note. And we don't want to give them some kind of dear supporter. That means nothing to people. We want to make it personal, and we want to thank them for their gift and give them opportunities where they can get even more involved. When it comes to our sacrificial givers, we also want to give those personally. Sometimes someone will give a very large gift involving a lot of self-sacrifice. Well, as spiritual leaders and spiritual fathers, we want to affirm and encourage people to do that. Otherwise, they suffer giving fatigue. It's no different than when we're talking about volunteers. If someone has a thankless job where they don't feel their contribution matters or makes a difference, you're going to have a volunteer who burns out very quickly. Well, the exact same thing happens with our givers. If we take them for granted, if we don't respond to their generosity with our own gratitude, they feel that they have made a thankless sacrifice that didn't accomplish anything, that doesn't really matter, that nobody notices. And they're going to get giving fatigue and they're going to burn out from giving. And that's not something we want from our churches. But those are 4 different things that you can do to optimize your online giving experience and to humanize the experience for your supporters.